Another day in paradise, 62 degrees for us here in Flagstaff, well above the average, obviously 48, the average high for this time of year. Record high temperature 70 degrees, set back in 1950. We're going to see a continued warming trend here and going to be flirting with record high temperature type numbers here beginning tomorrow, right on through the remainder of the week into the early weekend. All right, here's a look at it out in the Pacific. Here we are in Arizona. This is the area of high pressure. Notice kind of building, blossoming, expanding as it starts to make its way into the western United States. Still a bit of a dirty ridge of high pressure. We talked about that yesterday. That's when high cirrus clouds are kind of spilling over the top of it and moving into Arizona and not giving us that perfect sunshine. So some high clouds, some cirrus out there today. But as this thing builds east and gets to be right on top of us, we're going to see warming temperatures and also perfectly sunny skies. That's what's in the forecast tomorrow. A little bit of cirrus clouds here and there as we get into the holiday and the later portion of the week. But this thing really not going anywhere until about early next week time frame when it starts to break down and a little weak storm system cools us off. No moisture is in sight in our forecast. All right, here's what's going on across the nation here today. Still wet up in the Pacific Northwest. That ridge taking the Pacific jet stream right into Seattle area, Washington State. Pretty quiet throughout much of the country. A little bit of northern Rockies snow. Quiet, 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 quiet. We do have a pretty strong and cold front moving through the upper Great Lakes, pushing its way towards the Ohio River Valley. A little rain snow mix in this, very cold temperatures pushing in, a little bit of rain along the Gulf Coast. This whole storm system makes its way to the Atlantic seaboard tomorrow, off the Atlantic seaboard with just cool temperatures going into Thanksgiving Day if you happen to be traveling out into that neck of the woods for the holiday. But pretty quiet nationwide for the most part going into Thanksgiving. Here's tomorrow's temperatures across the country. Very warm out west, particularly in the southwest. Very warm 70s right through the Central Plains. Here's that cold air spilling in behind that cold front. We just looked in with high temperatures in the 30s all the way into the Ohio River Valley tomorrow. As I mentioned, as we get into the Thanksgiving Day forecast here and just switch it ahead one day, not quite as cold, and the coldest air is up in the Northeast still throughout the Midwest. Very mild across the southern and mid-Atlantic, very mild right on through a good portion of the country with the exception of the northern Rockies where we'll still see a little snow and cold and still some rain up in the Pacific Northwest. Notice these reds sticking around the southwest. That's our heat wave going right into Thanksgiving Day. Here's a look at Thanksgiving Day forecast numbers and compared to record numbers for November 23rd, forecasting 69 in Flagstaff. That would tie a record if we hit that on Thursday. Prescott, 80 would beat a record. Payson at 80 beats a record. And right on down the line, town to town across Arizona, it's going to be a very Thanksgiving-ish kind of weather for us. Okay, current temperatures out there right now. Here's the cold air with that cold front. Mild out west. Current temperatures across the state, 49 right now in Flagstaff, 65 in Sedona. Overnight tonight, pretty mild temperatures compared to where we've been, 30 degrees. Our early morning low temperature, of course, we've been down in the teens and mid-20s was this morning. So with this warming air mass, overnight lows are moderating as well. Tomorrow a bit warmer, forecasting 65 degrees for us here in Flagstaff. Statewide temperatures Wednesday, 78 Sedona, 77 Prescott, 88 degrees forecast in Phoenix, Payson 79, and warmth goes right on into Thanksgiving Day, as I mentioned, and right on into the weekend. It's going to be great, great weather for any type of outdoor activities that involve dry and warm weather.